Part 18. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 171. Sewer, are you okay? Yaoji was such a person that he could see Lin Su's weakness at a glance. Don't worry, father-in-law. I'm just exhausted. I'll be fine after a while. Lin Su smiled. He was far from his limit this time. With the improvement of his cultivation, his endurance also increased. He was not like last time when he couldn't even stand steadily. He just felt weak all over. Boy, I didn't expect you to have such a trick up your sleeve. Good job. Yan Luotianzi patted Lin Su's shoulder. It was not known whether it was intentional or not. This pat was very heavy. Lin Su almost fell to the ground by his slap. He couldn't help but grin. Father-in-law, I'll trouble you to take care of the next thing. I've consumed too much energy. I must rest and recover immediately, otherwise there will be troubles. Lin Su said half-truthfully. There were indeed some sequelae of enduring the power of Tyrant Bear King, but at most it was just weakness and weakness for a few days. It was not as exaggerated as Lin Su said. Then you should go and rest quickly. I will let Pinger and Yu find you later, Yaoji agreed immediately. In his opinion, the secret method that Lin Su used to increase his strength instantly was amazing. The more powerful the secret method, the greater the sequelae. Don't let it cause you to suffer from illness. Lin Su bowed to Yaoji and Yan Luotianzi, and flew towards the new house in the backyard of the Spirit Beast Garden. Brother Ye, do you really believe what this kid said? Sequelae, I think he is just looking for an excuse to run away. Yan Luotianzi possessed the silver eyes that break delusion, and his eyesight was much stronger than Yaoji's. In his opinion, Lin Su's breath was stable and there was nothing unusual. Just like what he said, he was just a little exhausted and weak. Escape with an excuse. Yaoji was stunned for a moment, then understood and couldn't help laughing. This kid is playing tricks on me. Well, the wedding is almost over anyway, and the next step is just to entertain the guests, so don't attend. He looked at Yan Luotianzi meaningfully and said, I thought Brother Yan had hidden it very well, but I didn't expect this kid to be even better, and he is better than me. With a laugh, Yaoji soared into the air and flew towards the wedding platform. Although he was disrupted by Xianxia Palace, he forced Lin Su's true strength to show up. With such a son-in-law, Yaoji had no reason to be unhappy. It seems that this kid has had a lot of adventures in the god and demon secret realm. Yan Luotianzi chuckled and followed. No one knew Lin Su's strength better than him. But even Yan Luotianzi did not expect that a trip to the god and demon secret realm would make Lin Su so much better. Not only did he break through the Jindan stage, but he could also burst out with combat power comparable to him. Fortunately, this kid is the fifth Shura, a member of the Yama Palace, otherwise Yan Luotianzi would probably be unable to sleep or eat. Of course, after this battle, there will definitely be people who will be unable to sleep or eat, such as Xianxia Palace. Boy, hurry up and get some delicious food, I'm so tired. As soon as he returned to the bridal chamber, Tyrant Bear King's voice rang in Lin Su's heart, it's too tiring to transmit power across space, I need to make up for it. Lin Su completely sneered at Tyrant Bear King's words. This guy was obviously just looking for an excuse because he was greedy. It was not as tiring as he said to lend him 100,000th of his power. But Lin Su did not point it out. He was just greedy. It was simple. Anyway, there were a lot of delicious food prepared for the wedding banquet. Just get 2 tables for him. After sending 2 tables of wine and banquet to Tyrant Bear King, this guy immediately stopped complaining and started to feast in the spiritual field space. Lin Su used Qiantian Hualongju to regulate his breath. This time, the time of borrowing Tyrant Bear King's power was not long, and it did not cause too much burden on Lin Su's body. However, Lin Su recovered in an hour. As soon as he went out, he saw Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu who were waiting anxiously at the door. "Husband, are you okay?" Seeing Lin Su coming out, Leng Lingyu and the other two girls breathed a sigh of relief. Ye Wuji said that Lin Su's use of the secret method was too much, which scared the two girls. They ran over before they finished listening to him. They didn't dare to go in and disturb Lin Su, so they could only wait at the door. "Don't worry, I'm just a little weak, it's nothing serious." Lin Su smiled and held the hands of the two girls. Feeling the little hands of the two girls that were slightly cold due to nervousness, he said apologetically, "I made you worry." "Husband, I'm glad you're okay." The two girls were wearing the 100 birds paying homage to the phoenix skirt and the wide sleeve flowing fairy skirt at this moment. They were so dazzling that Lin Su's eyes lit up. Since there was no one around, he pulled the two girls into the house. "The spring dawn is short, don't let down the beautiful scenery of this good city, ladies, let's rest here, shall we?" "My husband, it's still daytime now. Then let's discuss the truth of heaven and the philosophy of life." After getting married, Lin Su did not return to Yanluo City, but stayed on Lingxiao Island. With his current status, he no longer had to take tasks for points. Yanluo City was really boring except for a mansion. It would be better to accompany Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu on Lingxiao Island. Just half a year after getting married, the bald man Tianyuan came to Lingxiao Island. "Linzi, why didn't you notify me of such a big thing as your marriage?" As soon as they met, the bald man complained before Lin Su opened his mouth. "You kid has no news at all, where can I notify you?" Lin Su rolled his eyes unhappily, and suddenly his eyes lit up. The bald man's cultivation had reached the peak of the early stage of Jindan. "Brother, I broke through seclusion. Not long after I came out of seclusion, I heard the news about your wedding and rushed here." The bald man smacked his lips. "I thought I would finally catch up with you this time, but I never thought I would be left behind by you again." The bald man was naturally talking about his cultivation, and Lin Su knew in his heart that if it weren't for the help of the thunder formation set up by his father-in-law Yewuji, he might have been overtaken by the bald man. Lin Su was not surprised that the opponent's breakthrough was at the peak of the early stage of pill formation. He had accumulated a lot of experience, and wasn't he the same? The arrival of the bald man made Lin Su and Leng Lingyu very happy. Ye Ping'er brought a large banquet table and drank in the pavilion in the backyard. "Linzi, I heard that you showed off your power at the wedding and beat Su Yin Yang, the deputy master of Su Tian Palace, like a dead dog. I heard that the old guy finally admitted defeat in public and left with a pig's head on his head." After drinking for a few rounds, the bald man spoke with interest. "My husband is so awesome. That Su Yin Yang paid 2 low-grade spiritual weapons as an apology before my husband let him go." Before Lin Su could speak, Ye Ping'er said proudly. Leng Lingyu also smiled and nodded, proving that what Ye Ping'er said was true, because Lin Su was given one of the 2 low-grade spiritual weapons. She and Ye Ping'er. "Linzi, your reputation now resounds throughout the whole sea of stars. They say you are the #1 person in the Dan formation stage, comparable to the nascent soul stage. You said they both carry one head on 2 shoulders. Why is there such a big gap?" "Woolen cloth." The bald man shook his head and sighed. His exaggerated expressions and funny language made Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu giggle, and even Lin Su couldn't help laughing. "Okay, it's not as exaggerated as you said. I can only increase my combat power in a short period of time, it doesn't rely on my own strength." Lin Su didn't want to talk more about this topic, so he changed his voice and said, "Tell me about you. Where have you gone to practice? Why can't I contact you? You even missed my wedding day. Didn't I tell you all about the breakthrough in seclusion? I went into seclusion in a treasured place, and I also met someone. Guess who it is? Stop selling off your words and don't say anything when you like it." Lin Su rolled his eyes at the bald man. Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu also stared at him angrily. The bald man muttered speechlessly, Chen Tian, the second Shura Chen Tian. Chen Tian? That disgusting guy. A trace of disgust flashed in Leng Lingyu's eyes, to which the bald man could only smile bitterly. Chen Tian practiced the art of poison and often used poison insects as weapons, so he was not favored by women. In fact, he was a human being. It's quite bold, much better than the cold fourth Shura blood sword. So you and Chen Tian chose the same Feng Shui treasure land for retreat and breakthrough. Lin Su heard what the bald man meant, and what he was going to say next might have something to do with Chen Tian. Sure enough, the bald man nodded and said, yes, that guy has also broken through to the early stage of pill formation, which is not much worse than me, but that's not what I want to say. I didn't know that Chen Tian was next to me at the beginning. It was only when I made a breakthrough that I realized that that guy Chen Tian was near me. It's a coincidence that we broke through at the same time. As a result, the 4 or 9 heavenly tribulations overlapped and almost killed us together. After we finally managed to survive, the surrounding areas were razed to the ground by the heavenly tribulation, but the exposed I found a space passage. That boy Chen Tian said that it was a passage in a secret realm, but that passage was surrounded by a powerful barrier and we couldn't break it with our combined efforts, so I came to find you. Lin Su's eyes lit up. He knew what the bald man wanted to do, and invited him to break the barrier and explore the secret realm together. For cultivators, a secret realm often means opportunities and treasures, especially this unknown secret realm. Those who are the first to enter it can usually get rich rewards. Of course, the dangers hidden in it are also unbearable. Underestimated. A secret realm of gods and demons allowed Lin Su to break through to the elixir formation stage, and his net worth increased greatly. He also had the help of a peerless master like Tyrant Bear King. Of course Lin Su knew the value of the secret realm. To be honest, he was very interested. Brother Tian, do you want me to work with you to break the barrier and enter it to explore? That's right. With Lin Zi's strength, it shouldn't be a problem to break the barrier. I want Lin Zi, Ping and you to explore the secret realm together. Does that disgusting guy Chen Tian want to come too? Leng Lingyu suddenly interrupted and asked. Of course, we discovered the secret realm together, of course he will go in. The bald man was stunned. Then I won't go. Bald man. Please give me rewards, monthly tickets, and all kinds of support. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 172. It has to be said that women are much more stubborn than men, and their reasons are usually incomprehensible to you. Just because they can't stand Chen Tian's poison, Leng Lingyu and Ye Ping both firmly stated that they would explore new possibilities this time. They did not participate in the secret realm, which made Lin Su quite helpless. After you go exploring, husband, sister, you and I will be familiar with each other. This was Ye Ping's reason, but Leng Lingyu was the most direct and couldn't stand Chen Tian's disgusting. Lin Su could only smile bitterly in response and stopped trying to persuade her. Chen Tian was still guarding the entrance to the secret realm, fearing that something might happen. If others discovered it, they would not have any advantage. Therefore, early the next morning, Lin Su and the bald man left the spiritual world. Beast Island. In order to keep it secret, Lin Su didn't even go to say goodbye to his father-in-law Yewuji. Anyway, with Ye Ping here, Lin Su didn't have to worry about what to tell her father. The entrance to the newly discovered secret realm is on a desert island at the junction of the 3 major forces. It may be more appropriate to call it a desert island, or a large reef, because the entire island was basically razed to the ground by the catastrophe, leaving only a layer of smooth rocks exposed above the sea. Chen Tian was sitting cross-legged in the middle of the desert island. Next to it was a circular space crack, which must have been the entrance to the secret realm. Chen Tian, I invited Lin Zi here. Following the bald man's loud shout, Chen Tian opened his eyes, his gaze drifting over Lin Su, and a hint of joy flashed through him. As soon as Lin Suda walked up to Chen Tian, he saw Chen Tian clasping his fists in his hands and saluting him respectfully. He couldn't help but feel strange. "Brother Chen, what are you doing? We are helping each other, so there is no need to give this big gift, right?" It's true that Lin Su came to help break the barrier, but after breaking the barrier, he also had to enter the secret realm to explore. Strictly speaking, the relationship between him and Chen Tian was just a cooperative relationship. How could Chen Tian pay such a big courtesy? "Brother Lin, I'm not thanking you because you came to help break the barrier." Chen Tian was dressed in a black robe, but his whole body was not shrouded in black mist like when we first met him. Hearing this, he smiled and said, "I am here to thank Brother Lin for saving my life last time." "A life-saving grace?" Lin Su was stunned. When had he saved him? Wait, is it the time in the secret realm of gods and demons? Lin Su suddenly remembered that when he was in the mystic realm of gods and demons, he destroyed the early-stage pill-forming monks in the Xianxia temple. When Su Chen-su became Su, one of the two people lying on the ground seemed to be Chen Tian, and the other one was the third one. For sure, blood swords. It seems that Brother Lin, you have remembered. Chen does not dare or forget the life-saving grace. If anything is gained from this trip to the secret realm, Brother Lin has the first right to choose. This can be regarded as Chen's gratitude to Brother Lin. "Brother Tian, what do you think?" Chen Tian saluted Lin Su again, and then turned his attention to the bald man Tian Yuan. "Of course I have no objection. Lin Zi is the strongest among the three of us. Maybe we have to rely on him this time. It is natural that he should be given priority." The bald man chuckled. Naturally, he would have no objection. Without Lin Su's help, they would not be able to break through the barrier at all, let alone enter the secret realm to hunt for treasure. Besides, no one knows what kind of dangers they will encounter in this secret realm. With a master like Lin Su here, the ability to resist danger will be greatly improved, and the chance of obtaining treasures will also be greatly improved. This is from the perspective of interests, and from the perspective of emotions. The bald man and Lin Su are brothers who share life and death, and he will not compete with Lin Su. In this case, Lin will not refuse and just do as Brother Chen says. Lin Su glanced at Chen Tian meaningfully. This guy is very smart. He is the strongest among the three. No matter how he sees the treasure, he will have the right to choose first. This kid Chen Tian proposed it first to express his gratitude, making him unable to refuse at all. "No losses. It seems that I have to be more careful. Don't be betrayed by this kid and count the money for him." Lin Su secretly became vigilant in his heart, but his face didn't show any signs of it. "Okay, let's break the barrier, lest things change." The barrier is transparent and will not appear until it is close to the space crack. At the same time, a strong force will bounce people away. "Do you have any ideas on how to break this barrier?" The bald man said that they had tried to break the barrier before, but they just didn't have enough strength to break it. Maybe they would have some ideas on how to break it, so it wouldn't hurt to ask. "I found a weak point in this barrier, just in the lower left corner. I think if we gather the strength of the three of us and bombard it at the same time, we should be able to break it. What does Brother Lin think?" Lin Su did not answer, and with a flash of silver light in his eyes, he turned on the breaking silver eyes and looked towards the barrier. Under the breaking silver eyes, the energy composition of the barrier appeared in Lin Su's eyes like a silk mesh. As Cheng Tian said, the weakest part of this barrier is indeed in the lower left corner, because in Lin Su's eyes, the energy network there is the sparsest. Generally speaking, this kind of naturally formed barrier can only be broken by force, and to break it, you must find the weak point. The bald man is not good at the barrier. The person who wants to find this weak point should be Chen Tian. This guy has some skills. After observing carefully for a while, Lin Su nodded, pointed to a point in the lower left corner and said, "Brother Chen is right, the point in the lower left corner is indeed the weakest point of the entire barrier. If you want to break this barrier, we can only start from here. What are you waiting for? Let's do it." The bald man was the most anxious. Before they went to find Lin Su, they had tried many times, and they were almost able to break the barrier every time. Now with Lin Su's participation, it should not be a problem to break it smoothly. 3, 2, 1. Do it. Concentrating the dragon essence on his right fist, Lin Su hit the point in the lower left corner of the barrier heavily. At the same time, the bald man and Chen Tian also made a move. The bald man raised his spikes and stabbed them fiercely, while Chen Tian's whole body was filled with black mist, forming a huge black arrow that shot towards the weak point of the barrier. Boom! The three people's attacks hit the weak point of the barrier almost at the same time. After a loud bang, a black spot appeared at the place where it was hit, and then the black spot spread out to form cracks. The entire surface of the barrier sounded like glass being broken, and a crackling sound was heard. "Come on, the barrier is about to break." The bald man's face flashed with joy, and he roared as he poured more true energy into the spikes. Chen Tian also shot out another black giant arrow, and Lin Su took a side step and punched it again. The barrier, which was already full of cracks, was hit hard again and suddenly shattered. At the same time, a destructive force erupted from the broken barrier. Not good. Lin Su's face suddenly changed, and his figure retreated in the direction of the bald man, and at the same time he summoned a stone statue puppet to block in front of him. Chen Tian and the bald man were also shocked. The bald man's figure became blurred, and sometimes he seemed to be in another space, while a large piece of black fog gushed out of Chen Tian's body and condensed into a shield to block him. Boom! All this happened in a flash. The next moment, the destructive energy had spread and affected the entire island. Smoke and dust rose into the sky, and even the sea around the island raised tens of feet high waves. The destructive energy only burst out for a breath of time. As the huge waves faded away and the dust settled, the figures of Lin Su and the other two appeared. Because the stone statue puppet blocked most of the destructive power, Lin Su and the bald man behind it did not suffer any damage. "Brother Chen, are you okay?" At that time, the situation was urgent. Lin Su could only protect the bald man. As for Chen Tian, he could only rely on himself. Without the stone statue puppet to help resist the destructive power, Chen Tian completely relied on himself to carry it, looking quite miserable. The shield condensed by the black fog was completely annihilated under the impact of the destructive power. Chen Tian's black robe was beaten to pieces, his body was covered with scars, and his breath was a little weak. "It's good, I won't die." A group of black mist emerged from Chen Tian's body, and then enveloped him. After a closer look, Lin Su found that the black mist was actually composed of countless extremely tiny poisonous insects. These poisonous insects were covering Chen Tian's body at this moment, sucking out the remaining destructive power bit by bit. At the same time, a little bit of dark green light also emerged from the poisonous insects and merged into Chen Tian's body. Lin Su saw clearly that after these green lights merged into Chen Tian's body, Chen Tian's wounds healed rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few breaths, all the injuries on his body were restored to their original state. If it weren't for the tattered black robe, it would not be seen that he had suffered a serious injury before. Of course, Chen Tian did not pay a price. As the destructive energy was sucked out, the injuries healed quickly, and a large number of poisonous insects also died and fell to the ground, piling up a thick circle around Chen Tian, all of which were the corpses of poisonous insects. This guy, what a weird method. This method of driving poisonous insects to recover from injuries was the first time Lin Su had seen it, and he couldn't help but be quite surprised. If the loss of the goo worms is not counted, Chen Tian's recovery speed is almost catching up with Lin Su's immortal Lotus Heart Seal. In addition, When attacking the barrier before, Xianxia also relied on the black mist formed by the goo worms to attack. It can be seen that the goo worms are the medium for him to cast spells. Looking at the thick layer of goo worm corpses on the ground, Lin Su couldn't help but feel a little numb. No wonder Len Lingyu called Chen Su disgusting guy. When she mentioned him, her face was full of disgust. This ability to drive goo worms is indeed very different. I really didn't expect that when the barrier was broken, it would cause an energy explosion. It's a pity that I have so many goo worms. Chen Tian looked painful. In order to block the destructive energy and recover from his injuries, he consumed a large number of goo worms. These goo worms cannot be cultivated without several years. It feels like a bad start to the battle before entering the secret realm. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 173. Fortunately, there is this stone puppet blocking the way, otherwise we would be in trouble. The bald man swallowed unconsciously. He did not have as strong a recovery ability as Chen Tian. If Lin Su had not blocked him with a stone puppet just now, then Chen Tian's appearance before would have been a reflection of him. I'll open the way, you follow. With Lin Su's current strength, the attack power of the stone statue puppet is insufficient, but its defensive power is nothing to say. So far, Lin Su has not seen any attack that can hurt the stone statue puppet. The road is naturally the best. Because they didn't know if this transmission channel would be randomly transmitted like the secret realm of gods and demons, Lin Su and the other three used ropes made of icy spider silk to connect the three of them together. The front end was tied to the waist of the stone puppet, and they entered the transmission channel one after another. Among the light and shadow in front of them changed, and the figures of Lin Su and the others appeared in front of an ancient city, Fengdu. At first glance, Fengdu city looked extremely majestic, but under Lin Su's silver eyes, the entire city was shrouded in a grey light invisible to the naked eye, making it look extremely strange. This secret realm is so strange, there is such a big city in it. The bald man frowned slightly and looked at the city in front of him. He and Lin Su had also been to the ancient city of the Star God clan in the secret realm of gods and demons, but they were far less shocking than the city in front of them. Not only was the scale incomparable, but also most of all, it is the momentum. The entire Fengdu city exudes an extremely long-standing and ancient momentum, and more importantly, it also exudes a strange aura that makes people feel chilled in their hearts. Boys, how did you end up in the ghost town? The voice of the tyrant bear king suddenly rang in Lin Su's heart. This guy ate well and slept well in the spirit field space. He rarely contacted Lin Su actively, but now he suddenly appeared. It seemed that he must have sensed this. The strange atmosphere of the ancient city. However, Lin Su couldn't help but be surprised by the name Tyrant Bear King said, Ghost Town. That's right, Fengdu Ghost Town, why did you come here? There was confusion in the Tyrant Bear King's voice, as well as a hint of fear. Yes, it was fear. Lin Su didn't know how he felt like this. The Tyrant Bear King was an immortal demon bear with unfathomable strength. Such a strong man, no, a strong bear would actually attack an ancient city. I am afraid that this Fengdu ghost town may not be simple. What's more, just from the name, Lin Su knew that this Fengdu city was not simple, it was a ghost town. Looking at the world of immortality and the sea of chaotic stars, although the theory of ghosts has existed since ancient times, they have always been rumors and have not been proven to be true. When a cultivator dies, unless his spirit and soul are completely destroyed, a trace of his true spirit can remain, and he will be reincarnated through the 6 paths of reincarnation. Of course, everything in the previous life will be eliminated during the 6 paths of reincarnation. These are common sense in the world of immortality, but no one knows how the true spirit is reincarnated and reborn, and where it enters the 6 paths of reincarnation. Because of this, among the 6 tribes of gods, demons, fairies, humans, and ghosts, there are only a few records about the ghost tribe, which are extremely rare. For immortal cultivators, ghosts are just legendary existences, but the tyrant bear king actually called this Fengdu city a ghost city. Could it be that this is the city of the ghost clan? Senior Bear King, what exactly is this place? Why do I feel like you are afraid of it? If you don't understand, just ask. Lin Su has never been in the habit of hiding things. If you pretend to understand if you don't understand, you are definitely joking with your own life. This is Fengdu City. It is the gate to the ghost world among all the worlds. It is the only place where souls must pass through to be reborn. Boy, you are the spiritual-eyed snow dragon. You should be able to see the gray energy lingering in Fengdu Ghost City. Then it's just ghost spirit. Lin Su was shocked by the tyrant bear king's words. The gate to the ghost world? Then Fengdu City is really a ghost town worthy of the name. Boy, you haven't told me how you ended up in this ghost place. This Fengdu ghost town has disappeared for many years. Except for ghosts who can find it by instinct, no living person has been able to reach it for a long time. How do I know how it came about? Lin Su smiled bitterly in his heart. He thought he had discovered a new secret realm, but who knew he would end up in this ghost town? After listening to Lin Su's story, Tyrant Bear King pondered for a while, and then said in a rather heavy tone, "Boy Lin, you'd better leave here quickly. The ghost city is the gate to the ghost world. The ghost energy is very strong, and living people can't enter over time. They will be eroded by ghost energy and become walking zombies, and there will be ghost generals from the ghost world patrolling here from time to time. Once discovered, I am afraid you will really turn into ghosts." Are the ghost generals very powerful? Lin Su's heart trembled. Not very powerful. The tyrant bear king paused and said, "The worst is equivalent to the cultivation level of human monks in the integration stage, and the highest level is no more than the cultivation level of human immortals. These are just patrolling ghost generals, and they are not ranked at all in the ghost world." Number. Lin Su had a black line on his head and his whole body was in bad shape. Damn it, a monk above the integration stage is not very powerful? Anyone can crush us with one finger, right? Of course, this kind of cultivation is nothing compared to the Tyrant Bear King, but the Tyrant Bear King is the Demon King in the fairy world, and Lin Su and the others are not even at the nascent soul stage, so there is no comparison at all. I also want to leave. The key is that I don't know how to leave now. I have to look for it in this ghost town. But what if I am discovered during this period? Lin Su smiled bitterly. The 3 of them were teleported to the Fengdu ghost town. They had no idea where to go back. They had to search in this ghost town. However, the 3 of them were all alive. They are just 3 shining lights. It's hard not to be discovered. Boy, I'll teach you a spell to change your breath, so that you can simulate ghost energy. Otherwise, your breath will be too conspicuous in this ghost town, and I'm afraid it won't take long to attract the patrolling ghost generals." The Tyrant Bear King thought for a while and said. Lin Su was overjoyed that there was such a spell. This relationship is great, and the possibility of revealing his identity is much smaller. It was indeed a very wise thing to take the Tyrant Bear King with him in the first place. The spell taught by the Tyrant Bear King was not profound, but Lin Su learned it quickly. He discovered that the spitting breath technique could not only simulate ghost energy and disguise as a ghost, but could even simulate demon energy, demonic energy, disguised as monsters, demons, and other races, is extremely useful. Boy Lin, Grandpa Xiang has said everything that needs to be said. You should be careful next time. I'll take a nap first. After saying a word, the Tyrant Bear King fell silent. Lin Su could only smile bitterly for such a fairy bear that was as hungry for food as it was sleepy. What, this is Fengde Ghost Town. After Lin Su briefly narrated what the tyrant Bear King said to the bald man and Chen Tian's eyes widened and he looked extremely surprised. What, brother Chen, have you ever heard of Fengde Ghost Town? Lin Su looked at Chen Tian in surprise. I have heard a little bit that Fengde Ghost City is the entrance to the ghost world. It has always existed only in legends. I didn't expect that we would be here. Chen Tian frowned. I heard that there are countless masters in the ghost world, no less inferior to the fairy world. This Fengde Ghost City is the entrance to the ghost world. Maybe there will be patrolling ghost soldiers. With our little strength, once it's definitely a disaster to be discovered. Chen Tian's words made Lin Su's eyes light up. This guy knew a lot. Not to mention anything else, this knowledge alone made Lin Su take a high look at him. Brother Chen, since you have heard of this Fengde Ghost City, do you know how to leave? This place is too dangerous, we can't stay here any longer. Lin Su looked at Chen Tian meaningfully. Honestly, I don't know. I thought I found a secret place. Who would have thought that I would come to this Fengde Ghost Town? Chen Tian smiled bitterly. I'm afraid the exit passage can only be found by entering this ghost city. However, we are all living people. We are only angry and not ghostly. I'm afraid we will be discovered as soon as we enter the city. Then. Chen Tian did not say any more, but his meaning was self-evident. With their current strength, if they were discovered in Fengde Ghost City, they would definitely be dead. What should we do? We can't just wait here forever, right? The bald man's face was full of misfortune, and he looked at Lin Su with apologetic eyes. Lin Zi, it's all my fault for dragging you down this time. What nonsense are you talking about? You didn't force me to do this. Lin Su waved his hand and said, we are brothers, it is too foreign to say these things. Brother Chen is right, I also think that the exit passage should be in this Fengde Ghost Town, so we must go in and look for it. After a pause, Lin Su continued, I have a spell here that can change the breath to disguise it. It's called Turning Breath Ju. It can simulate ghost energy and disguise itself as a ghost. I'll teach it to you. Lin Sujiang said, telling the bald man and Chen Tian the key points of transferring breath Ju. Brother Lin is righteous, Chen admires him. Chen Tian saluted Lin Su again. He knew the value of transferring breath Ju very well. This was definitely a disguised magical skill. Strictly speaking, Lin Su was not very familiar with him, but the other party ignored such a magical skill. He taught him without hesitation, and Chen Tian had to admire his courage and determination. We are companions now, and we should help each other in the same boat. Brother Chen, you don't have to be polite. Lin Su waved his hand, we don't know exactly what is going on in Fengde Ghost City. Don't show off after entering it. Be careful at all costs. Let's go. After activating the revolution art, a layer of faint gray energy emerged from Lin Su's body, and his body became half empty and half solid. At first glance, he looked almost the same as a ghost. The bald man and Chen Tian also urged Dong Zhuangzai disguised himself as a ghost, and the three of them walked carefully towards Fengde City. Fengde Ghost Level, as its name suggests, is a city where ghosts live. All the people walking and wandering on the streets in the city are ghosts, most of them are souls, and the ghost energy is extremely thin. After the soul comes to Fengde Ghost City, it cannot enter the ghost world immediately. It must convert the soul body into a ghost body in the ghost city before it can enter the ghost world. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 174. The so-called ghost body is the physical body condensed from the soul under the action of ghost energy. The soul that has just arrived in Fengde Ghost City cannot be called a ghost. Only by condensing the ghost body can it truly become a ghost clan. A member of. Only after possessing the lowest ghost body can the ghost race withstand the tearing force of the space channel and reach the ghost world. Only in the ghost world will there be more ghost energy to supply the ghost race to practice and improve their strength. Compared with the other 5 realms, the ghost realm is the most gloomy and has the worst conditions. After the death of the 5 races of gods, demons, fairies, and humans, their souls will reach the ghost world and become people in the ghost world. Logically speaking, the ghost world should be the most powerful among the 6 realms, but in fact, the ghost world is the strongest among the 6 realms. Weak, not even comparable to the human world. The reason is very simple. Like people in the other 5 realms, people in the ghost realm have to accept the test of heavenly tribulation when their strength reaches a certain stage. Only by surviving can they reach higher levels. If they cannot survive, they will disappear into thin air. There is no real possibility of coming back. A chance. People in the ghost world practice by absorbing ghost energy. The attribute of ghost energy is negative, and thunder is the biggest natural enemy. Because people in the ghost world face natural disasters, it is much more difficult than people in any other world to succeed. There are very few. It is precisely for this reason that most people in the ghost world will choose to be reborn through the 6 paths of reincarnation before going through the tribulation. Although their cultivation and memory will be obliterated by the reincarnation path, they can get the chance to start over again. Chance. And the stronger you are when you enter the reincarnation channel, the stronger your talent will be after reincarnation. To a certain extent, the more solid the ghost body is, the more powerful it is. Lin Su and the other 3 disguised themselves as ghosts, and their bodies looked extremely solid. No one dared to mess with them when walking in Fengde Ghost City. The law of the jungle is the law of nature, and it is especially applicable in a place like Fengde Ghost City. One look at the solid ghost bodies of Lin Su and the others, and one knows that they must be extremely powerful, so all the ghosts are in awe of the 3 of them. They looked at each other, but no one came forward to ask, for fear that the 3 people they accidentally offended would be killed and devoured if they were unhappy. This breathing technique is really powerful. These ghosts have no idea who we are. The bald man was nervous at first, but gradually he found that the ghosts around him looked at the 3 of them with no suspicion except awe, and he gradually felt relieved. I think the strength of these ghosts is very low. They are not even in the chi refining stage. Our previous worries seem to be overblown. Don't be too optimistic. Lin Su shook his head when he heard this. The ghosts in Fengde Ghost City naturally have nothing to worry about, but the ghost soldiers who come out from the ghost world to patrol are not that simple. If our identities are exposed, we will be killed in a moment. It will attract soldiers from the ghost world, which are powerful beings equivalent to those in the integration stage and above, and we cannot match them. A ghost general from the ghost realm who is above the integration stage? Real or fake? The bald man couldn't help but let out a low cry, and Chen Tian also changed his color. He had heard about Fengde Ghost City and knew that ghost generals from the ghost world would patrol, but he didn't know that the patrolling ghost generals were above the integration stage. Fortunately, I have the bidding breath art to hide my identity, otherwise my life may not be saved. Of course it's true. Otherwise, why would I hide my identity? Lin Su rolled his eyes angrily. Okay, the most important thing is to quickly find a way to leave. Fengde Ghost City is very big, and Lin Su and the other 3 moved together. They did not dare to act too high profile in the city. They could only walk around slowly like other ghosts. They wandered around the city for 3 whole days, and even the 10 people in the city did not dare to act too high profile. Not even one of them has been explored, let alone the exit passage. This is not the way to go. This Fengde ghost town is too big. If we continue searching like this for 10 days and a half, we won't even be able to find a way out. Lin Su frowned. The 3 of them were not real ghosts. Staying in this Fengde ghost town for 1 more day would increase the risk of exposure. What should we do? Look for them separately. Keep in touch at any time, Chen Tian suggested. Yes, Look for them separately. The three of us always staying together like this are too big a target. Over time, we will easily arouse suspicion. It is better to look for them separately. If anyone finds the exit passage, use the jade slip to inform the other two. Lin Su discovered that the ghosts in Fengde Ghost City basically acted alone. He had never seen two ghosts staying together all the time, so the three of them walking together all the time were actually quite eye-catching, but because the three of them looked powerful, no one dared to mess with them. But if this continues, sooner or later, suspicion will arouse. If the patrolling ghost general is provoked and his identity is exposed, it will be terrible. If we search separately, the efficiency will be much higher. Anyway, the three of them all have sound transmission jade slips on their bodies. If there is anything, they can contact them through the jade slips. Of course, once the jade slips are used, it will inevitably attract the attention of the ghosts in Fengde Ghost City, because except for the patrolling ghost generals, ordinary ghosts do not have the ability to use jade slips to transmit sounds. But generally speaking, as long as the jade slip is used, it means that you have found a way to leave. It doesn't matter even if it attracts attention, as long as you leave quickly. The plan was decided, and the three of them dispersed. A silver light flashed in Lin Su's eyes, and he quietly opened the destroying silver eyes to investigate, while at the same time calling out the tyrant bear king in his heart. "Boy, what do you want me to do with Grandpa Bear?" I don't know if it was because he was sleeping, but it took a long time for the tyrant bear king to reply, and there was some resentment in his voice. "Senior Xianxia, I have been searching in Fengde Ghost City for 3 full days, but I still haven't found the exit passage. Senior, based on your understanding of Fengde Ghost City, where do you think the exit passage will be?" Lin Su asked quickly after hearing the tyrant bear king's response. "Although I am the demon king, Grandpa Xiang, this Fengde Ghost City is the entrance to the ghost world. This is my first time here. How do I know where the exit passage is?" Lin Su was a little disappointed when he heard this. Even the tyrant bear king didn't know, so he was even more helpless. He couldn't go through all of Fengde Ghost City, right? Then you still can't find the year of the monkey and the month of the horse. Moreover, in the past 3 days, Lin Su and the others had been wandering around the streets without entering the buildings in the city to check. It was difficult to say whether the exit passage would be in the houses next to the streets. But it's not impossible. Just when Lin Su was depressed and entangled, the tyrant bear king changed his voice. "What can I do?" "Use your silver eyes to check the changes in ghost energy. If there is a space passage to leave, the ghost energy around it will definitely change." Lin Su's eyes lit up. Yes. His breaking silver eyes can tell the intensity of the ghost energy. Just as the tyrant bear king said, if there is a passage to leave somewhere in the city, it will definitely cause changes in the surrounding ghost energy. He only needs to follow it. Just look for the direction of change. Just do it. Once you find a method, it will be much easier to investigate. There is no need to spend time investigating places where the ghost energy has not changed. Half a day later, Lin Su discovered abnormal fluctuations in ghost energy at the entrance of an alley in the east of the city. The fluctuations came from the alley, and from the entrance of the alley, the ghost energy in it was sometimes strong and sometimes weak, which was consistent with what the tyrant bear king said. "Go in and take a look. Even if it's not the exit passage, there must be something unusual." Because he was not sure if there was a way out in the alley, Lin Su did not send a message to the bald man Tian Yuan and Chen Tian. He planned to wait until it was confirmed. It turns out it's not a passage, it's just a piece of rotten wood. Carefully walking into the depths of the alley, Lin Su found a piece of gray-black wood at the end of the alley, almost as thick as a thigh and 3 feet long. Waves of waves emanated from it, causing the surrounding ghosts to tremble. Changes in chi. "Hey, boy, you are so lucky, you can find treasures even when you walk on the street." As soon as Linsudo picked up the gray-black wood, the tyrant bear king's surprised voice rang out. Is this broken wood a treasure? What's its use? Linsu wondered. Apart from being able to stir up changes in the ghost energy around him, he didn't see anything valuable about this wood. What a piece of wood, you kid really doesn't know what to buy. This is the soul nurturing tree, one of the 3 sacred trees. It is a unique treasure of the ghost world. Tyrant Bear King said with disdain. Soul nurturing wood? Is this the soul nurturing wood? When Linsu was cultivating in the world of immortality, he had seen the introduction of soul nurturing trees in ancient books. Together with the 5 elements spiritual bamboo and the golden sun tree, they were called the 3 sacred trees. Linsu had already obtained the 5 elements spiritual bamboo and refined it into a 5 elements spiritual sword. The infinite growth after that is incredible. Linsu has been thinking about when he can get the other 2 of the 3 sacred trees. Unexpectedly, he picked up the soul nurturing tree in the alley of Fengde Ghost City. As the Tyrant Bear King said, this luck is so good. I guess this soul nurturing tree was strayed from the ghost world, and it was actually picked up by your boy. The Tyrant Bear King smacked his mouth, and his tone was quite envious of Linsu's good luck. Soul nourishing wood, as the name suggests, can warm and nourish the soul. As long as you carry it with you, your soul will continue to be nourished. Whether it is a divine soul, a primordial spirit, or an immortal soul after becoming an immortal, its essence is the soul. As the soul becomes stronger, the divine soul, primordial spirit, or immortal soul will become stronger accordingly, and its strength will be stronger. Not only that, as long as you have the soul nurturing wood in your body, even if it is just a palm-sized piece, you can be completely immune to attacks from the soul. Moreover, when the physical body is destroyed, the soul can live in the soul nurturing wood and condense the ghost body, which is quite a lot. You has an extra life. While the Tyrant Bear King was talking about the efficacy of the soul nurturing wood, he secretly sighed. If he had such a piece of soul nurturing wood by his side, how could he be imprisoned in a prison in the secret realm of gods and demons? The ancient books Linsu saw only had some simple descriptions of the soul nurturing wood. After hearing the Tyrant Bear King explain the efficacy of the soul nurturing wood in detail, Linsu smiled so hard that he couldn't close his mouth. Although he didn't find the exit passage, but he got the soul nurturing wood, and he couldn't stop his luck. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 175. Although he didn't know how the soul-nourishing wood, one of the 3 great sacred trees in the ghost world, ended up in this alley, Linsu would not miss this opportunity. He suppressed his excitement and put the soul-nourishing wood into the spiritual field space, and then walked out of the alley quickly. The soul-nourishing wood would only work if you carry it with you, but this treasure would cause the ghost energy around to fluctuate, which would easily cause a gap between others in this Fengde Ghost City. It happened that the spiritual field space could isolate the aura, so Linsu put it away first and deal with it after leaving this Fengde Ghost City. Not long after Linsu left, about an incense stick of time, a figure, or a ghost figure, appeared silently in the alley. It turned out to be a woman. Unlike other ghosts in Fengde Ghost City, this woman's soul body is extremely solid, and is almost the same as the flesh of a cultivator. Although she deliberately concealed her aura, the solidity of her soul body showed that her cultivation was extremely profound. The woman was wearing a tight black dress. Although she was a ghost, she was still curvy. However, she was covered with a black scarf, so her face could not be seen. However, even so, from the pair of phoenix eyes that were not covered by the black scarf, one could guess that under the black scarf, there must be a peerless face that could turn everyone upside down. Damn it! Why is the soul-nourishing tree gone? Who is so daring that he dares to steal my things? The woman searched in the alley for a long time, but did not find any trace of the soul-nourishing tree. She immediately raised her eyebrows, and bursts of piercing coldness emanated from her body. A terrifying momentum rose up and disappeared quickly. If there were people with discerning eyes nearby, they would definitely scream in surprise. The aura that burst out from the black-clothed woman at that moment was clearly above the tribulation crossing stage. If I find out who stole the soul-nourishing wood, I must tear her to pieces. The woman in black was Shen Baiun, one of the 4 great Rakshasa women in the ghost world. She was in the late stage of fusion. Although she was only a casual cultivator in the ghost world, few people dared to provoke her because of her ruthless methods and profound strength. Later, she accidentally got the soul-nourishing wood, one of the 3 sacred trees. She was going to practice it quietly, but the news leaked out, attracting the covetousness of various forces. Although Shen Baiun was powerful, 2 fists could not beat 4 hands, and a good tiger could not stand up to a pack of wolves. She had to escape from the ghost world under the pursuit of several major forces. This alley is extremely secluded in Fengdu Ghost City, so Shen Baiun temporarily threw the soul-nourishing wood into it. She wanted to come back to get it after sending away the pursuers, but Lin Su got there first. How could Shen Baiun not be angry when the treasure she had spent so much effort to obtain was stolen? She was afraid of attracting the pursuers again because she could not control her breath for a moment, so she had to grit her teeth and leave first. However, Shen Baiun remembered the breath of Lin Su in the alley clearly, and she could tell it as long as she met him. Lin Su did not know that the soul-nourishing wood he had lucky enough to pick up was temporarily hidden in the alley by Shen Baiun, and he did not know that this powerful Jade Rakshasa had already set her sights on him and wanted to skin him alive. At this moment, he was happily continuing to explore the city, and the depression of not finding the exit passage was completely washed away by the accidental acquisition of the soul-nourishing wood. Since the Fengdu Ghost City can have a sacred tree like the soul-nourishing wood, it is hard to guarantee that there will not be other treasures. Maybe he will pick up another one by accident. Human nature is greedy, and Lin Su is no exception. At first, he was cautious, fearing that he would attract the attention of the patrol soldiers in the ghost world. After staying in Fengdu Ghost City for a few days, everything was calm, and his vigilance gradually relaxed. In addition, the unexpected acquisition of the soul-nourishing wood made Lin Su's greed emerge. If he could get some more treasures in Fengdu Ghost City, it would be worth the trip, right? However, in the past few days, he encountered ghost energy fluctuations several times, but they were neither treasures nor passages to leave. Instead, they were changes in ghost energy caused by the initial formation of the ghost bodies of the ghosts in the city, which made Lin Su a little annoyed. "I don't know if there is any news from them," Lin Su murmured. He had been looking for the passage to leave separately for several days. He didn't know what the situation was with the bald man and Chen Tian, and Lin Su didn't dare to use the sound transmission jade slip to ask casually. Not long after the voice fell, a stream of light suddenly flew from the air and exploded in front of Lin Su. Chen Tian's voice drilled into Lin Su's ears, "If you find anything, come quickly." It was Chen Tian's sound transmission jade slip. Did he find the way out? Lin Su was delighted, and immediately activated the Yan Luo Absolute Hidden Technique without hesitation to hide his body, and flew along the remaining energy of the transmission jade slip. Chen Tian sent the sound transmission jade slip from a temple in the east of the city. Lin Su rushed to it and the bald man followed him. "Brother Chen, did you find the way out?" the bald man asked hurriedly. "It's not a way out, but it's a good thing." Chen Tian smiled and pointed to the temple in front of him. "I heard that there is a soul condensing pool in this temple, which can help ghosts quickly condense their ghost bodies. It can be called a sacred pool." "I thought you found a way out, Brother Chen." The bald man was disappointed. "We are not real ghosts, what's the use of this soul condensing pool?" Lin Su also looked at Chen Tian with an inquiring look. This soul condensing pool may have some other uses. Otherwise, based on Lin Su's understanding of Chen Tian, he would never risk using the sound transmission jade slip to call himself and the bald man over for an abandoned pool. Sure enough, Chen Tian smiled and blinked. Brother Tian, this soul condensing pool is not only useful for ghosts. Brother Chen means. This soul condensing pond is the name of people in the ghost world. Chen has heard about it. In addition to helping ghosts condense their ghost bodies, immortal cultivators entering it can also greatly enhance the strength of their souls. As soon as Chen Tian's words came out, Lin Su and the bald man's eyes lit up. It can enhance the strength of the soul. Doesn't that mean it can enhance the soul? If this is the case, it is not an exaggeration to call the soul condensing pond the divine pond. Chen just tried it. There is a barrier at the entrance of this ancient temple. Once the soul's strength reaches a certain level, you can enter it. There is no obstacle to us, so we sent a message to summon you too. The soul condensing pool is the holy pool of Fengde Ghost City. All ghosts who want to enter the ghost world will enter the pool to soak in the condensed ghost body. However, if the soul body is not strong enough, entering it will not only fail to condense the ghost body but will be assimilated by the pool water, so there is such a barrier at the entrance of the ancient temple. As long as you have the ability to pass through the barrier, you will naturally not be afraid of the assimilation of the pool water and can safely condense the ghost body in it. After the soul comes to Fengde Ghost City, it first absorbs ghost energy in the ghost city to strengthen the soul body. When the soul body reaches a certain strength and can pass through the barrier, it can enter the soul condensing pool to condense the ghost body, and then pass through the two-world passage. Enter the ghost world. The enhancement of the soul body is an extremely slow process. Generally speaking, not a single ghost can pass through the barrier in 10 days and a half, and all the ghost energy around the ancient temple gathers in the soul condensing pool, so at this moment, there is no way around the ancient temple. Not a single ghost in sight. Thank you, Brother Chen. It's not too late. Let's go in now. The barrier was only restricted to the soul body. For immortal cultivators like Lin Su and the others who had physical bodies, it was basically useless. The three of them entered it without any effort. Although it is a temple, there are no offerings other than incense that can release ghost energy. The entire temple is more like a closed pool. From the outside, the temple looks only 10 feet in diameter, but it is extremely wide inside. Probably due to the use of space array. After Lin Su and the others entered the temple, they looked around and saw only 2 ghosts soaking in it. Ghost auras continued to merge into their bodies from the pool. Anyway, the soul condensing pond was big enough, so the 3 of them each chose a place to jump in. As soon as he entered the pool, Lin Su felt a trace of strange energy continuously seeping into his body from the pool water, and the soul in the golden elixir in his body actually showed signs of growth under the nourishment of this energy. Although it is still very slow, its growth changes can be clearly felt. This trace of energy is different from the ghost energy. It does not have that cold meaning. Instead, it appears neutral, peaceful, and extremely pure, as if it comes from the same source as the power of the soul. As expected of the divine pond. With great joy in his heart, Lin Su put aside all distracting thoughts, released the acupuncture points all over his body, allowed this trace of energy to integrate into his body, and at the same time activated the Dian divine art. Dian divine technique. Splitting the divine consciousness requires cutting the divine consciousness at the beginning, but after 3 splits, there is no need to cut it anymore, and new divine consciousness can be condensed on the basis of the original divine consciousness. After Lin Su got married, in addition to enjoying the newlywed life with Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu, he went into the spiritual field space to refine the 5 elements spirit swords when he had free time. Before the bald man came to the door, he had already made 39 of them. The refinement of the 5 element spiritual swords of the upper grade treasure weapon level has been completed, and together with the original 10 5 element spiritual swords that have been advanced to the lower grade spiritual weapon level, the 49 5 element spiritual swords needed for the Dian 5 elements sword formation have been assembled. Lin Su has also tested the power of the Dian 5 elements sword formation, and it is more than 10 times stronger than the small 5 elements sword formation. With this Dian 5 elements sword formation, Lin Su even has the confidence to use magical powers without using it. And with the help of the power of the Tyrant Bear King, he competed with the masters in the early stage of nascent soul. However, Lin Su found that although the Dian 5 elements sword formation was powerful, it was not as easy to activate as the small 5 elements sword formation, and could be used like an arm. The reason is that Lin Su has only reached the 8th level of divine consciousness, which is still far from the 49 points of perfect use of the Dian 5 elements sword formation. Now that I have this opportunity, I can condense the remaining spiritual consciousness. As soon as Dian divine technique was activated, Lin Su's rate of absorbing strange energy suddenly increased. If it was strange energy that had penetrated into his body, now it is his body that is actively absorbing it. I'm just asking for a reward and a monthly pass. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 176. Circles of ripples spread out with Lin Su as the center. The strange energy in the soul condensing pond surged towards Lin Su as if being fatally attracted, and actually formed a vortex around it. The two ghosts who were condensing their ghost bodies in the pool each let out a scream of horror and hurriedly moved away from Lin Su. They stopped after a distance of 100 feet. In just such a short period of time, their soul's 10% of the body energy was taken away. The two ghosts looked at Lin Su in shock, wondering where this monster came from. It was so perverted. After other ghosts enter the soul condensing pool, they spontaneously wait for the ghost energy and soul energy to penetrate into the body and condense the ghost body. Although ordinary immortal cultivators have techniques to speed up the absorption of soul energy, they are not as exaggerated as Lin Su. To put it bluntly, this is simply plundering. The bald man and Chen Tian also had horrified expressions on their faces. They were not ghosts, so there was no soul energy being drained away. However, as soon as Lin Su started operating the Dian divine art, they were unable to absorb any trace of it from the pool water. Of soul energy. They had no choice but to stay away from Lin Su. After exiting 100 feet away, their bodies felt the integration of soul energy again. What kind of skills does Brother Lin practice to be so domineering? Chen Tian and Lin Su didn't get along for long, and they didn't know much about each other, so they were a little stunned. What is this? Lin Zi is not an ordinary person, he is much more domineering than this. Compared to Chen Tian, the bald man had already adapted to Lin Su's surprising actions from time to time. After the initial shock, he quickly calmed down, waved his hand indifferently, and soaked his body in the pool water. Seeing the bald man, he didn't take it seriously, and Chen Tian couldn't say much. He just took a deep look at Lin Su, who was in the whirlpool again, and changed his position to absorb the soul energy. Lin Su didn't know how much commotion he had caused. At this moment, he was closing his eyes and doing exercises, almost greedily absorbing the soul power. The feeling of his soul gradually growing stronger was so wonderful. I don't know how long it took, but the growth of the power of the soul gradually slowed down and finally stopped. Lin Su let out a long sigh and opened his eyes. A brilliant light flashed in his eyes, and his face was full of joy. His Yuan Shen was twice as strong as before entering the soul condensing pond, and had already reached the average level of a monk in the middle stage of Yuanying. Not only that, Lin Su's consciousness also quickly split and condensed under the influence of the soul power. 49 independent consciousnesses were completely formed. If the Dian 5 elements sword formation is activated again in the future, its power will definitely increase greatly. This trip to Fengdu Ghost Town was really rewarding. Not to mention getting the soul nurturing tree, one of the 3 sacred trees. The growth of soul and the condensation of spiritual consciousness alone were a worthwhile trip. Congratulations. The bald man and Chen Tian were standing by the soul condensing pond. When they saw Lin Su leaping out of the pond, they quickly walked forward and congratulated them repeatedly. The two of them only stayed in the soul condensing pond for more than half a month before they could no longer absorb any more soul energy. This had already strengthened their souls to the level of the late stage of pill formation, but Lin Su was stayed in the soul condensing pond for half a year. The bald man and Chen Tian really couldn't imagine how strong the soul would be in half a year, but it would definitely be much more powerful than them. Hearing that he had been in the soul condensing pond for half a year, Lin Su couldn't help but be surprised. It's been so long. Nothing happened during this period, right? The bald man smiled. Lindsay, you are the biggest change. My dear, you didn't see that scene. You created a big whirlpool in the entire soul condensing pool, and others in the whirlpool couldn't absorb even a single bit. The power of your soul forces Chen Tian and I to stay hundreds of feet away from you. Really? I didn't notice it at all. Lin Su was a little embarrassed when he heard this. He really didn't know that he had made such a big noise. Of course it's true. Didn't you see the horrified looks of the ghosts who were condensing their ghost bodies in the pool? Brother Chen and I were worried that it would cause trouble, but fortunately nothing happened for the time being. The bald man shook his head and sighed, but Lin Su's expression changed. Those ghosts won't go out and talk nonsense, right? Don't worry, we have already thought of what you are worried about. The bald man chuckled. The other party is just a few brats who haven't even reached the foundation building stage. They have no ability to resist in front of me and Brother Chen. We have already settled it. Settle it out? You won't kill him, right? Lin Su looked at the bald man and Chen Tian with suspicion. These two men were not good men and women. As Shura of the Yama Palace, his men had no idea how much blood they had. To describe them as ruthless would not be an exaggeration. Why are we killing them if we have no grudges? No one will pay. The bald man rolled his eyes. We just erased their memories of this period. Lin Su nodded and breathed a sigh of relief. Although he was not a kind person, he still had some resistance to killing innocent people indiscriminately. Moreover, if the ghost body died again, it would really be wiped out. The bald man he and Chen Tian did a good job. This soul condensing pond is only effective the first time you enter it. Now that we have all improved a lot, it is time to leave. It is important to find the transmission channel quickly. Lin Su's proposal was exactly what the two bald men wanted to say. If they weren't afraid that Lin Su would be in danger while practicing, they would have continued to look for a way out a few months ago. After leaving the soul condensing pond, Lin Su and the others still spread out to look for the space passage leading to the Chaos Star Sea. In this way, another half-month passed, and Lin Su finally discovered a space passage in the south of the city, but there were 3 people fighting fiercely next to the space passage. These 3 people are all from the ghost world, 2 men and 1 woman. Their bodies are extremely solid. If their bodies were not filled with ghost energy, they would be almost the same as immortal cultivators. The 2 male ghosts seem to be working together and are fighting against each other. Attack the female ghost fiercely. Jade Rakshasa, if you are sensible, please hand over the soul nurturing tree as soon as possible. Otherwise, even if you hide to the ends of the earth, you will not be able to escape the pursuit of the Ghost Emperor. Jade Rakshasa, hand over the soul nurturing wood quickly, otherwise today will be the day you die. The 2 male ghosts roared with some sternness. Although they joined forces, they were firmly outnumbered by the female ghost. Lin Su could see that the strength of these 2 men and 1 woman was unfathomable. It's not something he can compete with now. Perhaps they were afraid of destroying the buildings in the city. The 3 people's power was extremely concentrated, and there was basically no excess energy flowing out during the battle. However, Lin Su could still see traces of dark space cracks appearing where the 3 fists and feet struck each other. The aftermath of the fight can shatter the space. These 3 people, no, Three ghosts are really terrifying. Lin Su shrank his figure into the corner. Although he had used the Yamluoju hidden technique to hide his figure, in the face of such a terrifying existence, one cannot be too careful. If he is really discovered, his current small body is simply not big enough for someone to pinch him. If the Scarlet Flame Ghost Emperor comes to visit in person, my aunt will still be afraid. You two dare to talk so shamelessly in front of me and seek death. The female ghost was none other than Shen Baiun, the Jade Rakshasa who had placed the soul-raising tree in the alley. At this moment, her face was full of coldness and disdain. After a sneer, she struck even more fiercely, causing the two people who were struggling to resist to the male ghost's pressure increased sharply, and he finally couldn't resist it. He left a few harsh words and ran away in a hurry. Jade Rakshasa did not pursue them either. These two ghosts were the guardians of the Scarlet Flame Ghost Emperor. They were powerful. She was able to defeat the two ghosts, but the one she wanted to kill was beyond her power. After driving away the two ghosts, Jade Rakshasa also pulled away, but whether intentionally or unintentionally, Jade Rakshasa glanced at Lin Su's hiding place when leaving, which scared Lin Su into a cold sweat. Fortunately, the other party didn't seem to notice anything, and he disappeared without a trace after a few flashes. After confirming that the other party had left, Lin Su walked out from the corner and came to the previous battlefield. The scenery here did not change at all, and even the ground was not damaged at all. If Lin Su had not witnessed it with his own eyes, he would never have thought of it. There was a fierce battle here just now. This is the first time that Lin Su can control his power to this extent. The masters in the ghost world are really powerful. Among the masters Lin Su knows, only the Tyrant Bear King can control the three ghosts just now. Senior Bear King, can you feel this? Is this the space passage leading to the Sea of Chaotic Stars? The shapes of the space passages looked the same, and Lin Su didn't know if the passage in front of him led to the Sea of Chaotic Stars. If not, it would be fatal if he went to a more dangerous place. Fortunately, Lin Su didn't know, but the Overlord Bear King in his spiritual field space knew. After sensing it for a while, the Overlord Bear King nodded affirmatively. Yes, this is the passage to the lower world. Lin Su was overjoyed and finally found a way to leave. He was about to send a jade slip to the bald man and Chen Tian when he heard a cold voice coming from behind. I said why I always feel like being spied on, it turns out there are more. You are such a little mouse. Lin Su's scalp exploded, and a chill rose from the bottom of his heart. This voice was the terrifying female ghost just now, Jade Rakshasa. Lin Su turned his head stiffly, and what came into his eyes was an alluring face, but this peerless face was filled with cold murderous intent at the moment. Well, I'm just passing by. I'll leave right away, leave right away. Lin Su laughed and turned to leave. Stop. As these two words came out of Jade Rakshasa's mouth, Lin Su's whole body was suddenly imprisoned by an invisible force, unable to move at all. He couldn't help but scream in his heart, oh no, he had long thought that this female ghost was powerful, and he didn't know until he actually faced her. She is much more powerful than she imagined, and her ability to move was imprisoned before she even made a move. What kind of cultivation level is this Jade Rakshasa? This aura, you are the little thief who stole my soul-nurturing wood. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 177. Strange, there was a breath here just now, how come it disappeared in the blink of an eye? Did he enter the space channel? Impossible, this is the channel to the human world. Ordinary ghosts can't bear the power of the golden sun in the human world. Even the Jade Rakshasa won't go to the human world easily. Then he hid, look around. The two ghost generals also knew that the space channel in front of them led to the Chaos Star Sea, but they didn't expect that Lin Su and the other two were originally from the Chaos Star Sea, so they didn't chase into the channel. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. In the Chaos Star Sea, a space channel suddenly appeared in the air a few miles away from the space channel that Lin Su and the other two found to lead to Fengde Ghost City. Lin Su and the other two got out of the space channel one after another. You retreat. As soon as he appeared, Lin Su summoned out 49 5-element spirit swords without saying a word, combined into the Dian 5 elements sword formation and slammed into the space channel fiercely. Boom! With a loud bang, Lin Xian and the other two were blown away more than 100 feet, and the space channel disappeared. Lin, what are you doing? The bald man shook his dizzy head and asked in confusion. Brother Lin, are you afraid that the ghosts from the ghost world will chase us along the space channel? The bald man entered the space channel first and did not sense the two monstrous auras. Chen Tian could feel it clearly. It was definitely the ghosts from the ghost world. However, he did not expect Lin Su to be so decisive and attack the space channel as soon as he came out. Moreover, the power of the sword formation that burst out instantly was really terrifying, and it was definitely not worse than the attack of the early nascent soul cultivator. That's right, the ghosts from the ghost world have extremely high cultivation. If they chase us along the channel, we are no match at all. Lin Su nodded. He was just in case, but he did not expect the Dian 5 elements sword formation to be so powerful that it blew up the space channel in an instant. Linzi, why are you covered in blood? Did you encounter a strong enemy? The bald man looked at Lin Su's blood-stained robe and asked. Lin Su didn't answer because he was busy escaping. Now that the bald man asked again, he couldn't be too perfunctory. After rolling his eyes, Lin Su said, when I found the space channel, two ghost generals from the ghost world were fighting. The cultivation of these two ghost generals was very high. I couldn't see them at all. I could only hide in the corner. This blood was sprayed by one of the ghost generals. I didn't dare to dodge and was drenched. Lin Su didn't dare to say that the blood on his body was his own, which would inevitably arouse the suspicion of the bald man and Chen Tian. His current explanation was reasonable, and the bald man believed it as soon as he heard it. So that's how it is. No wonder you are so anxious to destroy the transmission channel, Linzi. The bald man looked as if he had realized something. Chen Tian looked at Lin Su with a hint of suspicion in his eyes. As far as he knew, the blood of the ghost clan was not red, but silver-white. The blood on Lin Su's body was definitely not from any ghost general, but from himself. But why did he lie? What did he want to hide? Lin Su didn't know that his lie had been discovered by Chen Tian. Seeing that no one asked him any more questions, he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. After taking out the map jade slip to determine the location, he smiled and said, this trip to Fengde Ghost City is also a big gain. I am going back to the Spirit Beast Island now. Brother Tian, Brother Chen, what are your plans? Plans? I don't have any plans. If I have to say anything, I will find a restaurant to have a big meal first. I have been here for more than half a year, and I am almost thirsty. I should go back to Yanluo City first after that. The bald man smiled, and Chen Tian also planned to go back to Yanluo City first. In that case, let's say goodbye and see you later. After separating from the bald man and Chen Tian, Lin Su flew all the way to the nearest city, Guangfeng City. After renting a small house with a courtyard and setting up a defensive array, Lin Su controlled his soul to enter the spiritual field space. Slut. As soon as he entered the spiritual field space, he heard an angry cry, and a figure suddenly appeared in front of Lin Su, and a strong wind attacked Lin Su's neck. It's Jade Rakshasa. Lin Su's mind moved, and the whole person appeared several feet away. This time he did not use shape change. Since Tyrant Bear King explained some common sense of the initial place to him, Lin Su can easily manipulate this spiritual field space. It can be said that in the spiritual field space, Lin Su is a unique god. Even Tyrant Bear King can hardly hurt him in this space. Of course, the prerequisite is that Tyrant Bear King does not use his full strength. After all, the gap between the two is too big. Although Shen Baiyun's cultivation is much higher than Lin Su's, she will be greatly suppressed in this spiritual field space, while Lin Su's strength will be greatly improved. Under this situation, Yu Luoxia will not be able to hurt Lin Su at all. Seal. With a condensed look, Lin Su looked at Shen Baiyun and gently pronounced a word. Suddenly, the huge pressure of the entire spiritual field space pressed down on Shen Baiyun's whole body, pressing her half kneeling on the ground. Not to mention attacking, it was good enough to barely keep from being pressed down. Senior Bear King, didn't you tell her where this place is? Lin Su asked the tyrant Bear King, who was half lying by the spiritual field watching the show with some surprise. This little girl yelled as soon as she came in, how could I have the chance to tell her? The tyrant Bear King spread his hands like a scoundrel. Besides, I only promised you to catch her, but I didn't say I would discipline her for you. Grandpa Bear, I don't have the habit of bullying women. Lin Su has a black streak on his head and his whole body is in bad shape. You don't have the habit of bullying women. Do I have the habit of bullying women? Besides, this is not a woman, she is a fierce female ghost. Now you think of Liang Xianxia. Rolling his eyes, Lin Su was too lazy to talk to the arrogant tyrant Bear King, and walked slowly to Shen Baiyun. Looking at Shen Baiyun, who was struggling and trembling violently, looking like she wanted to eat him alive, he sighed helplessly. You are in my space now. Although I know you are very strong, I am the real king here. It is useless for you to struggle. Lin Su looked into Shen Baiyun's eyes and smiled, do you admit this? Thieves? You'd better pray that you don't fall into my aunt's hands, otherwise my aunt will cut you into pieces. Shen Baiyun gritted her teeth and roared in a low voice. If she wasn't pressed tightly by the entire space, she really wanted to bite Lin Su's hateful smiling face into pieces. Boy Lin, this girl calls you a pervert, why did you pervert her? The tyrant Bear King's sudden words made Lin Su panic. Damn, which of your eyes saw me raping her? Didn't he accidentally touch her breast? Master, I didn't do it on purpose. Staring at the tyrant Bear King fiercely, Lin Su turned to face Shen Baiyun with a smile, sister, those things before were all accidents. How about this? I'll let go of my oppression and let's sit down and have a good time. Let's talk, how about? My aunt has nothing to talk about with a pervert like you. Don't be angry. Everything is negotiable. You just want the soul-raising tree. No problem, I can give it back to you. Lin Su's words made both Shen Baiyun and Tyrant Bear King stunned. Tyrant Bear King couldn't help but said, boy, are you not out of your mind? Do you really want to return the soul-raising wood to this female doll? Are you really willing to return the soul-nurturing wood to me? Shen Baiyun's tone became softer, and the look she looked at Lin Su contained less hatred, but more suspicion. A true man has said what he said and it's hard to catch up with him. Why should I lie to you? Lin Su laughed, how about it, are you willing to talk to me now? Shen Baiyun was silent for a while and nodded gently. Call. Lin Su breathed a sigh of relief, waved his hand to untie Shen Baiyun, stretched out his hand, and two stone benches appeared out of thin air. It was only in the spirit field space that he could create something out of nothing. From the outside world, I am afraid that even immortals may not have this ability. Please take a seat. Seemingly being calmed down by Lin Su's hand, Shen Baiyun sat down with complicated eyes, but her voice was still cold. How do you want to talk? Well, before we talk, let's introduce ourselves first. My name is Lin Su. What's your name, sister? Lin Su was not in a hurry to talk, he still had a smile on his face. Shen Baiyun. It turns out to be Sister Shen. I'll apologize to you for what happened before. As Lin Su spoke, he stood up and bowed to Shen Baiyun. Lin Su had made enough gestures not to hit the smiling person. Shen Baiyun couldn't keep a straight face, not to mention that Lin Su had the upper hand now. Okay, just say what you want to say. Feeling that Shen Baiyun's hostility had been reduced a lot, Lin Su breathed a sigh of relief. After thinking about it for a moment, he said, "First of all, I want to apologize to Sister Shen for the soul-raising tree. This soul-raising tree belongs to me. I picked it up in an alley. At the time, I didn't know that my sister had put it there. Sister Shen should also understand that anyone who sees a treasure like the soul-raising tree will be tempted, but if you picked it up, you wouldn't throw it away. Going back, right?" Having said this, Lin Su paused for a moment, looked at Shen Baiyun's face, and saw that she was not angry, then continued, "As for what happened next, it was a complete accident. I was just trying to protect myself, and I didn't mean to offend. Sister, you have a lot of money, so don't worry about it with me, brother." The tyrant Bear King on the side was dumbfounded as he listened to Lin Su talking about his sister and his younger brother. He thought that he was shameless and invincible in the world. This guy is so thick-skinned. He dispelled the murderous intention of Shen Baiyun in just a few words. What a talent! Grandpa Xiang, I have to learn from him. Will you really return the soul-nurturing tree to me? Lin Su apologized in such a low voice. Most of Shen Baiyun's sullenness disappeared, and her face completely softened, but she still had some doubts. After all, a divine object like the soul-raising tree is not easy to obtain. This boy named Lin is really. Are you willing to give up? Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 178. Since I said I would pay it back to you, I won't break my promise. Lin Su's mouth curved slightly, but it's impossible for me to return the entire piece of soul-nurturing wood to you. You dare to tease me? Shen Baiyun raised her eyebrows and said angrily. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Lin Su quickly waved his hand. Listen to what I have to say, and it's not too late for you to get angry again. Okay, and I want to see what kind of nonsense you can tell. Shen Baiyun's pretty face was flushed with anger, her plump breasts were rising and falling, and she glared at Lin Su. If she hadn't known that she was no match for Lin Su in this strange space, how would she have listened to Lin Su's excuses and taken action directly? Kill him first. Lin Su didn't take it seriously. As long as Shen Baiyun was willing to listen to him, attitude didn't matter. Although the soul-nurturing tree is one of the 3 sacred trees, bigger is not always better. It only takes a small piece of it for simple refining, and turning it into a talisman is enough. Lin Su chuckled and said, so what I mean is that I will help you refine the soul-nurturing wood amulet. This will achieve the same effect, and you don't have to carry a whole piece of soul-nurturing wood with you, and you can also, if there is any left, I can refine one for myself. Isn't this a matter of killing 3 birds with 1 stone? Sister Shen, what do you think? Lin Su stopped and looked at Shen Baiyun quietly, with a confident smile on his lips. He believed that Shen Baiyun was a smart person, and a smart person would not refuse his proposal. After all, who would be willing to carry a large piece of wood with him at any time when he has nothing to do? It would be much easier if you replace it with a wooden amulet with the same effect. Moreover, Shen Baiyun knew very well that she would never be able to return a whole piece of soul-nurturing wood to her, so this could be said to be the best way. Sure enough, Shen Baiyun was silent for a while and then said, do you really know how to refine amulets? Of course. You can tell if it's true or false by just trying it. Doesn't Sister Shen even have the ability to discern this? Humph. Just give it a try. If the talisman you mentioned is not as effective as a whole piece of soul-nurturing wood, let's see how I deal with you. Shen Baiyun snorted coldly and threatened, but Lin Su didn't care. When he got the soul-nurturing wood, he had planned to refine the wooden talisman. It was inconvenient to carry such a large piece of soul-nurturing wood with him. There were just 3 sacred trees. Lin Su knew the refining method. With the help of the alchemy furnace in the linked yen space, I believe it should not be a problem. Refining a wooden talisman is not complicated, it can even be said to be very simple. As long as you know the method, any refiner can make it. The most important thing is the material, which is the soul-nurturing wood. After consuming half of the volume of soul-nurturing wood, Lin Su refined a total of 6 pieces of wooden talismans. As agreed, he gave 1 piece to Shen Baiyun, Lin Su kept 1 piece for himself, Len Lingyu and Ye Ping'er each had 1 piece, and 2 pieces were left. Lin Su planned to leave it to Zizuier and Zhang Yunfan, who were in the world of cultivating immortals. He didn't know whether the two were doing well now. Has the battle between the demon sect and the 5 major immortal sects come to an end? Shaking his head, he temporarily suppressed his longing for Zizuier and Zhang Yunfan. The most important thing now is to break through to the nascent soul stage as soon as possible. Only in this way can he have the absolute strength to control his own destiny and have more hope of finding a way back to the world of immortality. Method. After Shen Baiyun got the soul-nursing wooden talisman, she closed her eyes and meditated. A trace of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth poured into the soul-nursing wooden talisman, and then transformed into pure ghost power and was inhaled by Shen Baiyun. After a moment, she opened her eyes. He stopped practicing with a look of satisfaction in his eyes. How is it? The effect of this soul-nurturing wood amulet is no worse than that of a whole piece of soul-nurturing wood, right? Lin Su asked knowingly. Just so. Shen Baiyun tried her best to pretend to be indifferent. My aunt, my lord, I will wipe out the past grudges between you and me. Open the door of this space and let me out, let's just say goodbye. Don't leave. Sister Shen, are you leaving? Lin Su had a strange expression on his face. What? Do you still want to force me to stay? Shen Baiyun stared. Sister Shen misunderstood. My sister wants to leave, so my little brother naturally dare not stop her. However, we are now in the chaotic sea of stars in the human world and are no longer in Fengde Ghost City. Sister Shen, where are you going after you leave? What? The outside is not Fengde Ghost City, but the human world. Shen Baiyun's expression changed. Of course. With Sister Shen's eyesight, it should not be difficult to see that I am not a member of the Ghost Clan, so naturally I will not stay in Fengde Ghost City for too long. If I had not mistakenly entered the space passage, I am afraid I would not have gone to Fengde Ghost City. Shen Baiyun was silent, her face uncertain. The human world is different from the ghost world and has a great suppressive effect on the people in the ghost world. Especially the most pure golden sun power is simply the nemesis of ghost power. Low cultivation level some people in the ghost world are even in danger of losing their souls if they are exposed to sunlight. Even Shen Baiyun herself would be greatly suppressed under the scorching sun and could only exert less than 70% of her strength. Rightward arrow. Lin Su saw Shen Baiyun's hesitation and offered an olive branch with a smile. Since Sister Shen hasn't decided where to go yet, how about staying in the spiritual field space of my younger brother? There is no scorching sun here, no, it will cause a loss to my sister's ghost power, and there is enough spiritual energy in the world. With the help of the soul-nurturing wooden amulet, it can be converted into pure ghost power for my sister to practice. If my sister feels bored, I can let her go out for a walk at night. How about shopping? Lin Su's proposal touched Shen Baiyun's heart. It sounded like this was her best choice at the moment. After hesitating for a while, Shen Baiyun nodded, okay. Then I'll trouble you. You Luoxia, never owe anyone a favor. If you need my help in the future, just ask. Thank you, Sister Shen. Lin Su was waiting for the sentence. He smiled and bowed to Shen Baiyun. The tyrant bear king on the side smiled at Lin Su and said, Lin boy, you are so cunning. This girl is a treasure, and you just cheated her. What do you mean by cheating? Senior Bear King, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say anything. I am getting along with Sister Shen in a friendly manner based on the principle of mutual help and mutual benefit. You think too much. I don't believe you. Tyrant Bear King rolled his eyes unhappily, thinking that Lin Su was too cunning. He had to be more careful in the future and not be sold by him and help him count money foolishly. Lin Su said righteously, but in fact, he was very happy in his heart. The reason why he tried to please Shen Baiun was because he saw Shen Baiun's strong strength. Although Shen Baiun's strength would be greatly reduced under the scorching sun because she was a ghost, it would definitely be far beyond that of a Yuanying cultivator. This is an excellent bodyguard and thug. The strength of Tyrant Bear King is naturally far superior to that of Shen Baiun, but because of his strength, he can't show up in the human world at all. Although Lin Su can borrow 1/10,000th of Tyrant Bear King's strength, it will bring a huge burden to the body every time, and it will not last long. Considering this point, Lin Su will try his best to resolve Shen Baiun's hatred for her, increase her favorability, and then find a reason to keep her by his side. With such a tough bodyguard, who dares to bully him by relying on his high cultivation in the future? Then I'll go out first. If you have anything, just call me in your heart. With a smile, Lin Su's figure gradually faded and left the spiritual field space. Shen Baiun glanced at Tyrant Bear King who was napping beside the spiritual field. A trace of fear flashed in her eyes, and she chose a place farthest from Tyrant Bear King to sit cross-legged and began to practice the technique. To be honest, Shen Baiun was shocked by Lin Su. This guy's cultivation was not high, but his methods were endless. First of all, his body movements were too strange. It was like teleportation over a very short distance, and he could use it continuously. So far, among all the body movements Shen Baiun had seen, Lin Su was one of the best. Then there was the combat power. This guy could suddenly increase his combat power by more than 10 times. Although it was still not enough to compete with her, he could definitely sweep away people with the same cultivation. Even those with 1 or 2 realms higher than him might not be able to defeat him. Then there was this strange space. This was completely the prototype of a small world. Although Shen Baiun's understanding of the initial place was far less than that of the Tyrant Bear King, it did not mean that she could not see the extraordinariness of this spiritual field space. This was not something that a person with Lin Su's cultivation should have. Even if he had cultivated into an immortal body, he might not be able to create such a space. Moreover, there is a terrifying existence like Tyrant Bear King in this space. Shen Baiun was sucked into the spiritual field space by Tyrant Bear King. Shen Baiun could not see the true strength of Tyrant Bear King, but it was definitely not an ordinary character who could not fight back in front of him, and even could not raise a trace of resistance. This giant bear with a simple appearance must have cultivated into an immortal body, and his cultivation was not low. Logically speaking, such a big boss in the immortal world would never appear here, but the fact is that Tyrant Bear King did stay in Lin Su's spiritual field space, and he looked at ease. All of this made Shen Baiun unconsciously curious about Lin Su. After the initial hatred dissipated, this curiosity prevailed. This is why she agreed to let Lin Su stay in the spiritual field space. Otherwise, with Shen Baiun's strength in the early stage of the tribulation, there is no place in the world that she can't go. Even if she will be suppressed by the scorching sun to a certain extent, so what? Who else in the human world can be her opponent? Lin Su didn't know that Shen Baiun had so many thoughts in her mind. He was secretly happy that he had abducted another super fighter. From the trip to the secret realm of gods and demons to the battle on the wedding day, Lin Su and Xianxia Palace had already been in a life and death relationship. Improving one's own cultivation was important, but finding a strong helper was also a way to enhance strength, and it came faster. With the help of Tyrant Bear King, and now with Shen Baiun, Lin Su really had the confidence to face Xianxia Palace. I hope those people in Xianxia will know better and don't mess with me, otherwise, I don't mind giving you a painful lesson. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 179. Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu were both overjoyed by Lin Su's return. Just as they were newlyweds, Lin Su was invited away by the bald man. The two women didn't say anything, but they were a little resentful in their hearts. Searched Can on Google. Moreover, Lin Su had been away for a whole year without any news. Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu didn't even know where he had gone. If they were all right, I'm afraid the two women would have been unable to sit still for a long time. After a while of greetings, the two women inevitably asked Lin Su about his experience in the secret realm. When dealing with Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu, Lin Su naturally couldn't use the same rhetoric to deceive outsiders. After thinking for a long time, Lin Su decided to tell the truth to the two women. Anyway, Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu already knew a lot, so there was no need to hide this last secret from them. They were both their wives, not outsiders, so they had nothing to hide, and if they didn't confess, Lin Su really couldn't explain it clearly. Ping'er, next I'm going to tell you my biggest secret. You have to promise not to reveal it to anyone else, including my father-in-law. Can you do it? Lin Su's extremely serious expression made Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu look at each other, and at the same time they thought that the secret Lin Su was about to tell must be no small matter. Husband, Ping'er swears that without your permission, I will never tell anyone your secret, including Daddy. You also swears not to leak anything. Without much hesitation, the two women swore their vows one after another. Lin Su was a little surprised. He just wanted a guarantee. Who would have thought that the two women would be so serious? Of course my husband believes you, otherwise I wouldn't want to tell you the secret. Don't be too serious, haha. Lin Su laughed, activated the power of his soul to open the entrance to the spiritual field space, stretched out his hand and said, "Go in." Leng Lingyu and Ye Ping'er looked at each other and walked in one after another. Lin Su closed the entrance and controlled the soul to enter the spirit field space. What is this place? As soon as they entered the linked yen space, Leng Lingyu and Ye Ping'er opened their eyes in surprise. They could clearly feel that this was an independent space, somewhat like a small world, but much smaller than the small world. The strange thing is that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in it is extremely rich and pure, far better than the outside world. This is a space in my body. I call it the spiritual field space. However, Senior Bear King said that this is the initial place and has the possibility of evolving into the world. Lin Su's figure appeared, just in time to hear Ye Ping'er's murmur, and replied with a smile. Spirit field space? The initial place? Evolving the world? The eyes of the two women were widened. What Lin Su said sounded as unbelievable to them as a book from heaven. Anyway, it's a special space in my body. Just understand it this way. Lin Su scratched his head. Come, let me introduce two people to you. The entrance to the linked yen space suddenly opened wide. The sight of Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu entering it had already attracted the attention of Tyrant Bear King and Jade Rakshasa Shen Baiun. The difference was that Tyrant Bear King just glanced at it and closed his eyes. Continuing to take a nap, Shen Baiun stood up vigilantly. Sister Shen, why are you standing so far away? Come here. Holding the small hands of the two women and walking to the Tyrant Bear King, Lin Su turned around and saw Shen Baiun standing at the edge of the barrier at the end of the space in the distance, and shouted to him. Shen Baiun frowned and shot in front of her in a flash, but she didn't get too close to the Tyrant Bear King. She was still quite wary of this powerful and controlling fairy bear. This is Senior Bear King, the Demon King of the Immortal Realm. I met him at the top of Meteor God Peak. I was able to come out of the God-Demon space thanks to Senior Bear King. Aren't you very curious about why I can burst out like that? Is the powerful force that beats Su Yin Yang like a dog? It's because Senior Xiang King lent me 1/10,000th of his power. Lin Su's introduction made Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu's eyes light up. The demon king of the immortal realm must at least have a cultivation level above the golden immortal. I've met Senior Bear King. The two women looked at each other and saluted the tyrant Bear King at the same time. Oh, no need to be so polite. The tyrant Bear King's honest bear face was full of smiles. When he turned his palm, two unknown fruits exuding a rich and sweet fragrance appeared. They flew accurately into the hands of the two women. This is our first meeting, Grandpa Bear. I was not prepared. As a greeting gift, I'll give you two immortal essence fruits. Eat them after you reach the tribulation stage, which can greatly speed up the transformation of immortal essence. Lin Su's eyes widened as soon as he saw it, and he whispered, Senior Bear King, you are so unkind. You don't discriminate against me even if you have such good things. It's a good thing that I brought so many delicacies to honor you. It's just two worthless little fruits. Grandpa Bear, I use them to satisfy my craving. I thought you didn't like them. Okay, I'll give you one too. Lin Su had the urge to roll his eyes. A worthless little fruit? That's not valuable in your eyes, right? The immortal UN fruit is a spiritual fruit that has long been extinct in the world of immortality. It is absolutely the best. It seems that this tyrant Bear King must have a lot of good things in him. If you have the opportunity in the future, you should take out more from him. Lin Su took the immortal UN fruit and thought to himself. Forget it, let me give you one too, girl. The tyrant Bear King glanced at Shen Baiun who was standing aside, grinned and gave Shen Baiun a immortal UN fruit. This fruit is the most yang thing. You can't take it for the time being. When will you completely turn yin into yang? Take it. Thank you, Senior. Shen Baiun didn't expect that the tyrant Bear King would give her such a precious spiritual fruit. She couldn't help but feel a little dazed. After coming back to her senses, she solemnly saluted to the tyrant Bear King and suddenly felt that this fairy bear didn't seem that scary after all. Husband, who is this sister? Did you trick her from somewhere? Ye Ping'er looked at Shen Baiun with some disgust. What is cheating? I, your husband, am an honest and trustworthy man. How could I do something like that? Lin Su blushed, and quickly pretended to be serious and said, this is Sister Shen Baiun, known as the Jade Rakshasa, a master of the early stage of tribulation in the ghost world. Ghost world? Len Lingyu's expression changed. Husband, are you talking about the ghost world? Could it be that Sister Shen is? Yes, I am from the ghost world. As for why I appeared here, you have to ask your husband. Shen Baiun suddenly smiled and glanced at Lin Su charmingly. Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu's expression suddenly darkened. Lin Su broke out in a cold sweat. Damn it, another goblin. None of these beautiful women are fuel-efficient lamps. This is true for people, and it is also true for ghosts. Don't get me wrong. This is what happened. Lin Su hurriedly recounted his experience of the trip to Fengde Ghost Town, and the expressions of Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu softened. After chatting for a while, Lin Su reopened the passage and released Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu, and then told the two women all about his experience in the world of immortality. The reason why I was able to save my life after self-destructing the Taoist spiritual ice snow python was thanks to the Qinglian of life and the spiritual field space. This is your husband and my biggest secret. After telling the story, Lin Su breathed a sigh of relief. It was really painful to hide the secret all the time, but now that it was revealed, he felt a lot more relaxed. Lin Su is not worried that Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu will leak his secret. The relationship between Taoist couples is much stronger than the relationship between mortals. It can be said that one is prosperous and the other is prosperous. All lose. I can't believe that my husband, your experience has been so twists and turns. Perhaps because what Lin Su said was too unbelievable, both Ye Ping'er and Len Lingyu fell silent. After a while, Len Lingyu sighed leisurely. Ye Ping'er nodded in sympathy. In her mind, Lin Su had always been a person with incredible luck and abnormal strength. She never expected that Lin Su had such a tragic experience, being excluded and targeted. Was forced to self-destruct and was separated from the one he loved. If it were another person, he would have gone crazy, and even if he hadn't gone crazy, he would have become ruthless. It's really rare that Lin Su could still retain the innocence and passion in his heart. Don't look at me with such sympathy, you husband, I don't need other people's pity. Lin Su smiled and said, I choose to tell you all my experiences and secrets, not because I want to gain your sympathy. I just feel that since we are husband and wife, we are family and we are one, so I don't want to treat you it's just something to hide. But again, as long as you know about this, don't tell anyone else, not even your father-in-law, otherwise you will definitely get into big trouble. Don't worry, husband, even if you don't tell, we won't leak it. What Lin Su said was so shocking. Leng Lingyu and Ye Ping'er knew very well that once this matter was leaked, Lin Su would definitely face the covetousness of all parties. Even the saints dreamed of the original place, the life dominated by life. Qing Lian, putting aside everything else, once this news is leaked, Lin Su will never have peace. He will have to face oppression and assassination from all forces anytime and anywhere. Even his father Ye Wuji and Ye Ping'er will not. I can guarantee that he will not be greedy. Marry a chicken and follow the chicken, marry a dog and follow the dog. This may not be applicable in the world of immortality, but the strongest relationship in the world of immortality is precisely the relationship between Taoists and Taoists. At the moment when Ye Ping'er and two daughters married Lin Su, the relationship between the three of them life has been firmly tied together, and we share will and woe. Moreover, Lin Su was willing to tell the two women such a big secret. How could the two women not be inexplicably moved? By the way, this is a wooden amulet made from soul-nurturing wood. Ping'er and you each have one. Remember to keep it close to your body. This is a good treasure. Not only can it warm and nourish the soul, but it can also resist attacks by the soul. Lin Su gave the soul-nurturing wooden talisman to Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu, and the two women were naturally smiling. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 180. 3 years have passed. During these 3 years, Lin Su has been staying on the Spirit Beast Island, and has basically not left. Apart from practicing, he has been accompanying Ye Ping'er and Leng Lingyu. In the second year, Ye Ping'er successfully broke through and condensed into a golden elixir. With the 100 birds paying homage to the phoenix skirt and many magic weapons given by Ye Wuji, Ye Ping'er successfully survived the 49th heavenly tribulation, and Lin Su's cultivation level also broke through the middle stage of the elixir and officially entered the late stage of the elixir without knowing it. Even Lin Su did not feel any bottleneck. However, this is normal. Lin Su has obtained Ye Ping'er's demon spirit body. Although the cultivation speed does not seem to have increased much, the bottleneck has indeed disappeared. It's a pity that the heaven-defying ability of this demon spirit body can only last until he becomes an immortal. In other words, after condensing the immortal body and ascending to the immortal world, the bottleneck-free state of the demon spirit body will disappear. However, this is enough. Whether it is the immortal world or the chaos star sea, there has been no master of the God transformation stage for 5,000 years. 5,000 years ago, a war between humans and demons led to a great change in the world. The spirit world was separated from the human world. Spiritual medicines above the stage of transformation gradually disappeared, especially the spiritual liquid required to break through the stage of transformation. Since then, there has not been a master of the stage of transformation in the human world. The late stage of the nascent soul has become the peak realm of cultivation in the entire human world. Google searched Can. Lin Su also learned about these things from his father-in-law Ye Wuji in the past 3 years. Speaking of Ye Wuji, Lin Su was really speechless about this father-in-law. Not long after returning to the Spirit Beast Island, Ye Wuji didn't know where he got the matter of the soul-nurturing wood and found Lin Su. Lin Su still remembers the scene clearly. Sewer, I heard that you got a treasure this time when you went out. Yewuji looked at Lin Su with a smile. Well, there are some gains, but the treasure you are referring to, father-in-law, is the soul-nourishing wood, one of the 3 sacred trees. Yewuji did not beat around the bush with Lin Su and directly pointed out his purpose. Lin Su understood as soon as he heard it. It must be that Yewuji saw the soul-nourishing wood amulet worn by Yeping. With Yewuji's eyesight, he naturally saw the value of the soul-nourishing wood amulet at a glance. Facing her father, and not involving Lin Su's secrets, Yeping naturally told everything she knew, but she did not say that the soul-nourishing wood came from the ghost world, but only said that Lin Su got the soul-nourishing wood by luck in an unknown secret realm. As one of the 3 sacred trees, the soul-nourishing wood has a strong warming effect on the Yuan Shen. Yeping's ability to condense the golden elixir so quickly is also closely related to the soul-nourishing wood amulet. Although Yewuji is a powerful cultivator in the late Yuanying period, he is still very tempted by such a sacred tree. Moreover, this soul-nourishing wood was found by Lin Su. Isn't it appropriate for a son-in-law to show some filial piety to his father-in-law? Moreover, Yewuji has learned from Yeping that Lin Su can use the soul-nourishing wood to refine a wooden pendant amulet, and the amount of soul-nourishing wood consumed is actually not much. So it's the soul-nourishing wood. Yes, the son-in-law did get the soul-nourishing wood and refined it into a wooden pendant amulet. I didn't expect that my father-in-law is also interested in it. Lin Su took out a soul-nourishing wood pendant amulet and handed it to Yewuji. I have always been filial to my father-in-law. I will give this soul-nourishing wood pendant to my father-in-law. It can also be regarded as a little filial piety from my son-in-law. Oh, is this appropriate? The old fox smiled. What's wrong with a son-in-law showing filial piety to his father-in-law? The little fox also smiled. The old fox and the little fox smiled knowingly at each other. Lin Su did not have much objection to giving the soul-nourishing wood pendant to Yewuji. After all, there was still half of the soul-nourishing wood left, and he could refine the wood pendant again. It would also be beneficial for his future development to have a good relationship with Yewuji, his father-in-law. Although Lin Su had unknowingly broken through to the late stage of Jindan in 3 years, it was still unknown when he would be able to break through the Dan and become an infant and break through to the Yuanying stage. As a demon spirit, Lin Su did not have a bottleneck limit to break through the realm, but the Yuanying stage was different from the Jindan stage. The Jindan stage was an improvement in strength and life level, while the Yuanying stage was an improvement in the origin of the Yuan Shen, and he had begun to have a preliminary contact with the power of the heavenly Dao. In other words, if you want to break through the Dan and become an infant, it is not enough to have strength and Yuan Shen, but you also need to have a certain understanding of the heavenly Dao. Lin Su was not worried about strength and soul. He had already reached the level of Yuanying stage in both his physical body and soul. However, he was confused about what the heavenly Dao perception was. He had asked Yewuji about it, but the other party only gave him one sentence: heavenly Dao perception is the understanding of the laws of heavenly Dao. It can only be understood, not explained. When the time comes, you will naturally know it. In short, it sounded very mysterious. After Lin Su asked twice, he became indifferent. The boat will naturally straighten itself when it reaches the bridgehead. Just practice with peace of mind. It is only a matter of time before he breaks through to the Yuanying stage. After breaking the pill and becoming an infant, it is time to return to the Xianxian world. However, how to go back, Lin Su still has no idea. In the past 3 years, Lin Su has also tried to inquire about the way to return to the Xianxian world, but there has been no progress. Except for Yewuji, no one else in the entire Lingxiao island even knows where the Xianxian world is, let alone knowing how to return to the Xianxian world. According to Yewuji, more than 5,000 years ago, the immortal realm and the chaos star sea were originally one body, connected by the spirit realm continent. Later, the war between humans and monsters caused great changes in the world, and the spiritual world was separated from the human world. The Sea of Chaos stars is also separated, with a desolate space in between. It is simply delusional to cross it with one's own strength. Unless you reach the stage of becoming a god, it is impossible to survive in the desolate space. Of course, it doesn't mean that there is no solution. Yawaji once heard that there is an ultra-long-distance teleportation circle between the immortal realm and the Sea of Chaotic Stars. It's just that things have changed. People from 5,000 years ago have long since died. The teleportation circle, the specific location, has also been lost. It is not clear whether anyone knows Yawaji, at least he does not know. It seemed that it would not be easy to return to the world of immortality. Lin Su decided to go back to Yama City and ask the Emperor of Yama for help in finding out the whereabouts of the teleportation circle. The killers of Yama Palace are all over the chaotic star sea, and there are new clients every day. This extends to a huge network of relationships. Basically, except for the Sea of Demons, the entire chaotic star sea is covered. If the palace couldn't find out the whereabouts of the teleportation circle, Lin Su could only give up the idea of returning to the world of immortality through the ultra-long-distance teleportation circle and go back directly through the desolate space. Yawaji said that only those with cultivation levels above the divine transformation stage could survive in the desolate space. He probably wasn't talking nonsense. Although Lin Su was confident, he didn't think he could break this law. With his cultivation level at the nascent soul stage, survive in the desolate space. But just because he can't travel through the barren space himself doesn't mean that he can't travel through it. Recently, with the further understanding and mastery of the linked yen space, Lin Su discovered another effect of the linked yen space, that is, he can not only control the soul to enter it, but also directly open the channel to enter it physically. At this time, the spirit field space will appear in the form of a green bead. The size of this bead is controlled by Lin Su and can be made larger or smaller freely. However, with Lin Su's current strength, at most can be reduced to the size of a grain of rice. Under normal circumstances, Lin Su would naturally not do this. This would expose the spiritual field space. If someone with an intention gets it, he will easily be trapped in it, or even directly refine him with the spiritual field space. However, it is an excellent way to travel through desolate space. You must know that there are two masters in Lin Su's spiritual field space who are above the divine transformation stage. Needless to say, the tyrant bear king and the majestic demon king of the fairy world can come in the turbulence of space. He could go freely, let alone a desolate space, but Lin Su didn't know whether the tyrant bear king's appearance in the desolate space would trigger a thunderstorm of punishment from heaven. In addition to the tyrant bear king, there is also the Jade Rakshasa Shen Baiun. This ant is in the early stage of transcending the tribulation, and there is no hidden danger of causing the thunder tribulation of heaven. If the tyrant bear king cannot show up in the desolate land, then he will only Shen Baiun can rely on Shen Baiun to bring Lin Su back to the world of immortality. However, Lin Su also knows that he must not take this road unless he has to. Think about it. The world of immortality and the Sea of Chaos are actually separated by an entire spiritual world. Even if the spiritual world is separated from the human world, the distance between the two has narrowed. It must be an extremely long distance. If you enter rashly, you may not reach the world of immortality but get lost in the boundless desolate space. In short, Lin Su must make two preparations now. On the one hand, he will find out the whereabouts of the ultra-long-distance teleportation circle, and on the other hand, he will find the correct path to the world of immortality and the Sea of Chaotic Stars in the desolate space. No matter which matter it is, he must return to Yama City for help. Emperor Yama. Husband, let's go back to Yama City with you. It just so happens that I also want to see what the legendary headquarters of Yama City looks like. Ye Ping'er was very excited to learn about Lin Su's plan. She had been staying on Spirit Beast Island for the past 3 years and she couldn't stay idle for a long time. Okay, let's go together. Lin Su did not object to Ye Ping'er's suggestion. Len Lingyu was originally the third Shura of the Yama Palace. It was normal to return to Yama City. Although Ye Ping'er was not from the Yama Palace, she was his Taoist companion. Many people moved their families to live in Yama City. Ye Ping'er just went to have a look, so there was nothing wrong with her. What's more, given the personal relationship between Emperor Yama and Yewuji, if Ye Ping'er was allowed to visit Yama City, Emperor Yama would not raise any objections. In this way, the three people and Yewuji said goodbye and rushed to the nearest branch of the Yama Hall, and then arrived at the Yama City through the teleportation circle. Is this Yama City? How amazing! It's actually built on the bottom of the sea. Just like when Lin Su came to Yama City for the first time, Ye Ping'er was also shocked.